35 years ago, after cementing one of the most celebrated and consequential political legacies in U.S. history, Ronald Reagan left office after completing 2 terms as president. Now the movie star turned politician's life is back on the big screen in a big way. It's our Sunday special.
There's nothing a retired governor can do, but a president, now he can do a thing or two.
Dennis Quaid is no stranger to sinking his teeth into iconic American characters, from astronauts
Who's the best pilot you ever saw?
to rock and roll pioneers. But capturing the legacy, patriotism, and wit of our nation's 40th president presented an unprecedented challenge.
I just remember a bolt of fear going up my spine when I was offered the role, because everybody in the world, they're going to know who he is and probably have an opinion about him as well. He was also my favorite president. So when I was offered the role, I didn't say yes and I didn't say no. I took some time to think about it, and I went up to the Reagan Ranch, and I could really feel him there. And that's when I knew I had a way into portraying his humanity, or just him as a person behind the public persona.
Reagan paints an intimate portrait of the president's story, from his early days in Hollywood at the height of the Red Scare.
There's about to be another war right here in Hollywood. The commies on one side, the mob on the other, and you're right in the middle.
To the historic moments that shaped his presidency, including the 1981 attempt on his life, the end of the Cold War, and opening of a new chapter in American foreign policy. What would you say you think his legacy is?
He left several. At the time of the 1980 election, we all felt we were a nation in decline. And he came along and said, no, we're not. We're going this way. And we all followed him. And his legacy would be that he won the Cold War. It was Reagan who really followed a strategy and principles to end the Cold War.
The film is told from a decidedly unfamiliar perspective, an ex-KGB operative played by Jon Voight.
I was a brand new KGB officer, given my first intelligence assignment, a certain actor and union leader.
It's such a great way to tell this story from the kind of Soviet point of view, and it really points up what I think the main thrust of his presidency was about. It took a Cold Warrior to be able to negotiate with the Soviets.
But what will be familiar to audiences is the Gipper's one-of-a-kind sense of humor.
I will not, for political purposes, exploit my opponent's youth and inexperience.
And of course, those seminal moments that altered the course of history.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev,
Tear down this wall.
Do you get sort of a kick out of the fact that critics really don't love this movie, but people have gone bananas for it?
We had the largest gap in cinema history between critics and audiences. 98% of the audience loves the movie, and I think it was 20% of critics like the movie. You know, the rest not only panned it, but basically attacked it. So I guess we must be doing something right, is the way I feel.
It is a fully fleshed out, very interesting portrayal. A lot of things people may not have known about Reagan, they're going to find out in this movie. Thanks for making time to stop in with us.
I tell you what, if go see this movie, especially you baby boomers out there, if you were born before 1985, you'll be able to remember how great this country was. And if you're born after 1985, you can see how great this country still can be.
So it's out in theaters now. You can go decide whether you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.